understand something, raise your hand. Just a little story to start with. So this guy, he found out, you could talk to God and he answers back. He says, I never tried. So he asked his Hasidic friend, how do you do this? He says, you go to the forest, you think a lot, and when you feel you're ready, you just start a conversation, and you're going to see it. It's mind-blowing. You could start a conversation, you get the answer, it's amazing. He says, okay. He goes to the forest, and he's thinking, and he's meditating, and at one point he feels, I think I'm ready. So he says, God? And he hears, yeah? Woo! He's all excited. Wow, it's working. And he says, is it you, God? He says, yes, it's me. How can I help you? He says, I have a few questions to ask you. My first question is, how is time by you? What is 1,000,000 years for us? What is it by you? He says, 1,000,000 years by you is 1 second by me. Wow, that's amazing. He's walking in the forest and he's thinking again. He's meditating, and then he says, God, I have another question for you. What is $1 million for you? And God says, $1 million for me? It's nothing. It's like a penny for you, or even less. He's meditating again, he's hesitating. He doesn't know how to formulate the next question. He says, God, if $1 million for me is almost nothing for you, do you mind giving me $1 million? It's nothing for you, right? God says, sure. Wait 1 second. Rosh Hashanah comes, and it's the day everything gets decided, and we start the conversation with God on our terms or on His terms. It's a time we really need to think, what is essential? What is it that I'm asking for? Or what is it that I should be asking for? And I would like to analyze just very quickly one thing, for example, that I'm sure all of you think. During the tefillah on Rosh Hashanah and during the 10 days of Tshuva, we ask a lot of things that are a little weird. I think it's weird when you come to God and you say, Avinu Malkenu, Kotvenu Besefer Chaim Tovim. Right? We all want good life. You're asking God, please write me on the book of life. Now God, we have to think about Him. So He's thinking, we have a code for this. If you want to end up in that book, you know what to do. We have a contract, and if you do good, the Gemara says, if you did great, then you end up there. If you didn't, then you don't. Kotvenu b'sefer tzadikim. Chutzpah. Write me in the book of tzadikim. Again, God would think probably, I'm just thinking like God, like a human, because we're talking to Him, so I guess we have a communication that should be established. God, please write me in the book of tzadikim. We have a teacher here, right? I'm sure she's not the only one. The only reason I know she's a Jew is because she taught my daughter. And when you have a student that comes and says, I deserve an A, as a teacher you say, if your test is an A, then you get an A. If you did not work too well and you didn't qualify for an A, then you don't get an A. If you want me to write you in the book of A's, you know what to do. It's very basic, it's very simple. So with what mindset do we come and we say time after time after time, Kotvenu b'sefer zechuyot. Write us in the book of merits. If you have merits, then you'll be there. And if you don't, then you won't. What the tefillah? Is there space for praying things like this? And the list goes on and on. Basically, anything you're asking there is, if I'm married, I'm there. If I'm not, then I'm not. So what are we asking? This is just one example. And there are many ways how to answer this. There are many answers. Just one answer that is important, and I think it's very basic for Rosh Hashanah. Now, be honest. You don't have to answer loud, but think about the following question. If you would be able to skip this whole period here, Rosh Hashanah, the days of Teshuvah, and Yom Kippur. Let's just skip all this. You fall asleep today, you wake up in Sukkot. I think a lot of people would love it. The Day of Judgment, it's not a time that we'll love. Or put it this way, if you ask someone, what's the best moment of the year for you? I think nobody would vote for Rosh Hashanah. I mean, it's a serious day. We don't party the way Happy New Year is being partied outside. It's a very serious moment. It's a moment of a lot of thinking, a lot of seriousness. A lot of people would rather not have to go through this. Now, we all know it's good because it's the moment you push the reset button, blah, blah, blah. You all know this. But bottom line, I think a lot of people would like to skip this time. Now, the Chachamim tell us this is the time that God comes close. Can you imagine? He comes close and you say, I would rather not live this moment. This opportunity of you coming close, I prefer maybe to skip it. It reminds me of a story, a true story, of a man, very wealthy guy, not too religious, and his son decided to go to Kollel, live in Israel. And he supports his son fully. He respects that, and the son is married. He could enjoy, being supported by his father, and he lives in Kollel. But once a year, for 2 weeks, him and his wife have to spend 2 weeks by the father. And this happens the day that they come from the airport. The father is sitting on his balcony in his porch, and he's waiting for his son to come from the airport. The son comes from the airport with the wife, and as soon as they exit the Uber, he speaks to his wife and he says, look, it's only 2 weeks, all right? I understand you don't want to be here. I understand I would rather not be here. We have problems, kashrut, not kashrut, this, that. It's much easier if we would stay home. But it's 2 weeks, okay? It's 2 weeks. The father is listening, by the way. He's in his porch. He didn't intend to listen. He's there smoking his cigar. And his son is having this speech with his wife. He says, it's only 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. We would rather not be here. We're here 2 weeks. We'll be supported the rest of the year. How does the father feel? Like an ATM machine. That's not a good feeling for a father. So he goes to his rabbi and he spoke to his rabbi. He said, I'm really heartbroken. I'm terribly heartbroken. The whole relationship with my son is this. I mean, he said it to his wife. It's only 2 weeks so we could get a check for the rest of the year. It's horrible. He was very disturbed. Well, in a sense, if we are not very excited at this time of the year, and it's hard to understand how to get excited because it's a serious moment at the same time. But that's the same feeling in God. So I'm coming to visit them. I'm going to come close. Biyoto Karov, he's going to come close to us. And we are not too excited. It's like saying, look, you're going to be serious for 2 weeks. You're going to read these things. At the end of Yom Kippur, you hope for the best. And that's it. You got the check for the year. It's the same thing. It's sad. That's not the way we're supposed to have our relationship with Rosh Hashanah in these days. It's an opportunity to come close to a father. Yes, sometimes it's a little difficult when you get a visit from a parent. But it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity, and the tefillot work. And I think when we say Avinu Malkeinu, we express our heart. We say this is our interest. This is where we want to be. That's really my dream to be true. I want to belong to the list of people that are there. There are myriad ways how to explain these things. But one thing is clear. God reads our heart. And if we're excited to be close, then we have a shot. And the tefillot work. And when we say Avinu Malkeinu Kotvel Mesefer Chaim Tovim, the Gemara says that the difference between someone who survives Lo Aleinu a sickness and someone who doesn't, because one prayed Belev Shalem and one did not. One prayed with a full heart and the other one did not. When you pray Belev Shalem, you pray with a full heart, you are taking a different route. It's not the regular route of, do you have merit? Are you supposed to be in this book or not? It's not so mathematical. It's a different set of rules. It's God, I enjoy your presence. Thank you so much for coming, visiting me. I need a little favor from you. You think it doesn't melt when you do this? Of course it does. And that's why the Chacham said, please say this for 10 days. But mean it. Really enjoy the fact that he's close. There's so many ways how to look at this. I just want to jump to one tefillah that I never understood. And for years, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little weird when it comes to this. There's tefillot that I don't like. So if I have to say them, I say them. But there's some tefillot in the slichot and things like this. It's not a must. I'm sure 500 years ago they didn't say them. So I'm a little, if I don't like it, I don't say it. I'm sorry. I'm admitting. There was one tefillah that for a long time I did not say. Today it's my favorite tefillah because it's something I was thinking about and it made so much sense. Now I would like to share this with you. The tefillah that I never said is the following. There's two different versions between Sephardim and Ashkenazim. It's the same tefillah. I'm going to say, most of you Ashkenazim I could assume, right? I'm not racist, but by the color of your skin I could imagine. Sorry. No offense. I'm Sephardic, so I could make the joke. There's a tefillah we say is so weird. Mi she'ana le'Avraham Avinu behar HaMoriah hu ya'anenu. Sephardim say, De'aneh le'Avraham Avinu behar HaMoriah anenan. It's the same thing but in Aramaic. The one who answered the prayer of Avraham Avinu while on the mountain of Moriah, please answer to us. Abraham on the Mount of Moriah was not skiing. He went there to take his son and put him on the Mizbeach. That's the Akedat Yitzchak. Now I'm asking God, you answered to him, answer to me. That's very disturbing for me. I'm going to say to, hey, you answered to Abraham, who do you think you are? Abraham! Abraham, at the peak of his life, he's there in the last one of the 10 tests that God is putting him through. We don't understand his story. He takes his son there. You know the level of concentration of the tefillah of Abraham at this point? He's probably begging God, please, make this not happen. Maybe it's a dream. I don't know. But this is Abraham, the one who discovers HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the one who fights with the whole world, the man who has the most zechuyot at the time. He's asking one tefillah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm coming in 2016 and I'm saying, oh, you answered to him back then? Oh, you have to answer to me. That's real chutzpah. So I didn't say it. I can't say, God, you answered to Abraham, answer to me. Who do you think you are? I feel bad saying something like this. And then the list goes on. Because you add to the chutzpah. Because if it's not enough, you think I'm not like Abraham. For sure I'm like Abraham. But listen, I have another one. And you go on. Misha'ana leYitzchak al gabe madbecha al gabe mizbeach. The one who answered to Yitzchak while on the mizbeach. So imagine Yitzchak. His father takes him to be taken as a korban. He's there, tight. He's saying a tefillah. Yitzchak. He's the Av. He's a star. He's there, tied. He's doing something that nobody here would do. I wouldn't do this. My father comes and says, come, I'm going to kill you because God said so. I said, have a nice dream. Are you kidding me or what? I'm not going with you. Take your other sons. Okay. I'm not going with you. No, he said you. Okay, good for him. You had a dream. I mean, it's a nevuah. You could, whatever. The story is difficult, maybe for another time. I don't know. But he's there now, okay? Fine. He's praying to God. God answers. I said, oh, you answered to Yitzchak? Anenan. Answer to us now. The one who answered to the list goes on. Misha'ana leMoshe va'avotenu al Yam Suf. You know the level that these people had while they're crossing the Red Sea? And you're saying, oh, you answered to Moshe and the Bnei Israel while they were crossing the Red Sea? So answer to me. Chutzpah. Who do you think you are? And the list goes on. The one who answered to Daniel when he was with the lions, answered to me. Daniel. He was a Navi, he was a prophet. Who are you comparing yourself with? I mean, again, if you play God for a second, you're going to say, sir, I mean, I answered to Abraham because of who he was, I answered to Yitzchak because of who he was, I don't think I'm bound by the fact that you're just a descendant from these people. I have to answer to you because I answered to them. I answered to them for a very precise reason, because of who they were and the level of concentration they had and the purity of their tefillah. However you want to look at it, there's no point of comparison between me and them. And I'm adding, while they were inside the furnace, you answered to them, you saved them, so then hey, you have to answer to me. Who do you think you are? So I didn't say that to you. It was too much for me. I said, I'm going to excuse myself, but I'll answer amen maybe at the end. It doesn't make sense. It was really disturbing for me to say this tefillah. Never understood it. A few weeks ago, I was thinking about it. I'm like, oh no, it's coming again, this tefillah. What am I going to do? I don't like it, but it's there. So I was thinking, and I think I found the answer. For me now, it's the most beautiful tefillah. I'm never going to say it. I never really said it, so it's going to be the first time. I feel like a bar mitzvah, first time putting his tefillin. And I'm going to say this tefillah. I'm all excited. And I want to share with you why. So I found a hint somewhere in the Hasidic Sefer. It's a Sefer from the Bnei Sachar. The Bnei Sachar says, Kedalim uchrashim dafaknu lelatecha. We're going to say that we come like poor people, indigents, and we knock on your door. And he says the following. Kedalim, like poor people, it refers to Tammuz, the month of Tammuz. Kerashim, like paupers, it refers to the month of Av. Dafaknu lelatecha, we knock on your door, it refers to the month of Elul before Rosh Hashanah. What is the connection between basically the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash and Elul? It's back to back. What's the connection? He establishes the connection. He doesn't say why, he doesn't say what. I would like to develop it with your permission. First, a Gemara. A story in the Gemara, I'm sure you heard of this story, it's a famous one. There was a rabbi called Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah was sent for a discussion with the Chachmei Atuna, it's called the Chachamim of Athens. And have a little discussion. What's the discussion? So you have the Chachmei, the philosophers of Athens. You probably know the story. They're in front of this rabbi, and they take two eggs, and they say, these eggs that look identical, please tell us which one comes from the black hen and which one comes from the white hen. I mean, they look the same. One is from the black hen, one is from the white hen. So Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah takes out his lunchbox also, and he takes out 2 pieces of cheese. And he says, this is from a black goat, and this is from a white goat. When you tell me which cheese is from the black goat and which one from the white goat, I'll tell you what egg is from the white hen and which one is from the black hen. The Gemara says, what a genius Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah was. The philosophers of Athens said, we lost, you win the debate. And that's the end of it. What's this Gemara talking about? Eggs and cheese? Menus? Gemara is very, very deep, very profound. The Maharsha explains this Gemara in the following way. If you take an egg, a chicken egg, in order to hatch, it's going to take exactly 21 days. Now, I check everything. No, I did not buy a hen. and I did not grow eggs, but I went online and I said, how many days? And the Maharsha says 21 days. I don't doubt that he checked, but I just want to make sure. So I type how many days to hatch, and it says 21 days. I was very excited. The Maharsha says there are two sets of 21 days in the year. One set, the black set, and one set is the white set. The black set is the 21 days between the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av. It's the black set because it's a negative time. It's the time of the destruction of our Bet HaMikdash. It's very negative. So these are the 21 black days. And then you have 21 white days. It starts on Rosh Hashanah. It ends on Hoshana Rabbah. Hoshana Rabbah is the day of the seal. After Rosh Hashanah, the 10 days, Yom Kippur, and a piece of Sukkot. That's the end. 21 white days. These are the good days. They are the days that you come out clean. What they were hinting was the following. Now that your temple, now that your Bet HaMikdash has been destroyed, up until now you were always saying that God is there to protect you. Look, He makes you 21 days of white. He's always there for you. But how do you cope with this new situation here? I mean, you got 21 days of black days. It's a negative. Your situation as a Klal Yisrael, as a Jewish nation, is changing dramatically. Now you don't have 21 white days. You don't have a God that is protecting you. You have maybe a God who is changing His attitude towards you. I mean, look at the other kind of 21 days. It's all black. It's destruction. Don't forget that when they destroyed the Bet HaMikdash, it came with millions of casualties. So it was destruction. It was a problem. How do you deal with this? Now, this is a real claim. Because at the time, when the Bet HaMikdash is being destroyed, it's not just an edifice. I know it's difficult for us to understand what's going on. And every year, Tisha B'Av, I'm sure we're thinking, okay, it's mixed feelings again. I mean, yes, we're going to sit on the floor, but what is it exactly that we're mourning? It's difficult, it's tough, we don't know what it is. But one thing is clear. When you have people that are inside a country, and they're being kicked out of the country, their capital is in flames, there's nothing left, and they're being scattered around the world, you know that very, very soon, very quickly, it's the end of that nation. It just happened all around the world. You took people from a certain country, they go to another country, that's it. It's the end of their culture. They have to adapt to the place they go. How do we make it to survive? That's the question. How do we make it to be here today? That 2,000 years later, there are still women who are interested in listening to Divrei Torah. How do you do this? People from all colors, from all backgrounds, they're still going to be interested in this Torah. With no land, or we're part of that land, no land, no capital, nothing. Nothing to hold them as a structure. And that's what they said. The Greek people said, you're done, my friends. It's the end of it. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah takes out 2 pieces of cheese. And he says, when you tell me which one is from the black one, which one is from the white one. You know what he was saying? He was saying, you know what? There are actually 2 ways how to react to problems. One way how to react to a problem is to become black, to be negative, to be bitter, and not to be able to stand up. He says, but you know what? We have this ability, for some reason, to do much better in these kinds of situations than any other situation. We just excel at this. And he says, any cheese that come out, which means any outcome of a situation, whether it's black or it's white, it's going to be white cheese. If it's through good things, it's going to be good. If it's through difficult situation, it's going to be good also. Every time we're going to have a problem, we will come out victorious. This is just the way it worked, always for Jews. And this is the way it's going to work. So he says to them, you have nothing to worry about. There are no black days for us. It just doesn't exist. Now, I I call this, in my shul, the holiday of Tisha B'Av. You know that there's a halacha on Tisha B'Av that we don't say tachanun, no supplication, no sorry. Now it's the saddest day on the calendar, and that's a day that we don't do tachanun. And the Chachamim explain why, because it's called, in Echa, it's called Kara Alai Moed. I call this day Moed, a holiday. A holiday. Tisha B'Av is called a holiday. Yes, it's called a holiday. You know why? Because every single year, when we say the number of years we've been mourning the Beit HaMikdash, we're scoring a victory. The first year after the Beit HaMikdash, they had a doubt. Next year, are they going to remember? Are they going to be still attached? And the next year, are they still going to be attached? And the year after, are they going to be attached? And in 50 years, are they going to be connected? And in 100 years, are they going to remember at all that there was a Beit HaMikdash? Who remembers 100 years later? They're all around the place, assimilating. After 200 years, 300 years, 1,000 years. And this year, 1,948 years. And we're still around. And we still remember. And we still follow the Torah. That's a victory. And next year when we're going to say 1,949, maybe we're not going to say it. Maybe the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt. But if we do, we score a bigger victory than this year. Because one more year and the system works. Hey, if it works for 1,900 years, that's a pretty good history. That's a good record. That means that we're in the right path. We're scoring a victory. And that's exactly what Rabbi Yeshua ben Chana said. Oh, I'm not worried. It may be tough, it may be difficult, but we will succeed. Because whether it's black or it's white, we will come out victorious. It's going to be a white cheese. We don't see black in our religion. It doesn't exist. That color is not part of our colors. It's always white at the end. 1,948 years, and we've been victorious. I'll bring you a proof to this. My wife's grandmother, when she was in Auschwitz, she's still alive, and she always tells us this. She says, if I would have told my parents the moment that we were separated in front of this Dr. Mengele, when he separated me from my parents, if I would have told my parents, you know, you have nothing to worry about. This is a difficult moment, but in a few years, because historically, a few years is nothing. In a few years, the Jews are going to go back to their country. And they're going to be governing their place. They're going to have an army. There's going to be booming yeshivot all over the place. In America, they're going to be involved in politics. They're going to be very influential. They're going to be very frum people. I think for a second they're there, being separated by this guy, Ymar Shemo, and you tell these people, one day, our people is going to be much more flourishing than what you ever experienced in history. They would have said, you are crazy. You're out of your mind. Never in a million years would our situation today have crossed their mind. Never. And yet, here we are. I want to ask you a little question. I don't have the answer to it. It for sure was not a good thing, the Holocaust. No question about it. It was the biggest disaster for the Jewish people. But if there wouldn't have been a Holocaust, do you think the UN would have voted in favor of Israel or not? Now, we will never know the answer to this question because we deal with what we have. And we had a Holocaust, and we definitely mourn the Holocaust for all these casualties and these millions of people that died. But from the black, we always take out white cheese. That's just the way we are. from the darkest moment of Jewish history ever lived, we were able to go to the highest level of Jewish history that we ever lived. That's the power of Jewish people. To transform the black in the whitest shade possible. That's why I call the holiday of Tisha B'Av. Now let me ask you another question. What is, it may vary between people, but what is the most important moment of your life? Think. For some people it's the day they got married. For some people it's the day they didn't get married. For some people it's the day they graduated. For some people it's the day they were born. But think for yourself, what is the most important moment of your life? I think the most important moment of my life is right now. This moment, now, is the most important. Whatever happened before is a base for me to be now here. But what happened before cannot be changed, ever. What I could do now with everything that happened before, because that's always going to be a part of me, one thing for sure, I'm never going to change the past. Impossible. But I could use the past to do something now. So my most important moment, and for everybody else, is the same thing. For all of you, the most important moment is not when I said now, because it's already part of the past, but it's now. Right now, the second you're living, that's the most important moment. And everything you've lived since the day you were born till today has much more meaning every time you have more nows into your life. That's just the way it is. Because now I decide to do something good, to do something negative. This is up to me. Now I decide if my cheese is going to be white or not. That's what I decide. That's when I could change the colors. It's the now, the moment of the now. Now, in history, it's the same thing. I ask you a question. If anywhere between the day Abraham Avinu was born and now, if anyone, any link that connects us to him and to Yitzchak and to Yaakov and to everybody else, if any time the link is cut, they are worthless. Not only the person who cut the link, but they, all their labor, all their effort was for nothing. Because who will remember them? Can you imagine the founder of the Maya sect? Now he's upset at the ones who cut it. He says, oh, what I did for nothing. Now I'm part of a book with dust on it.